Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Mr. C of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. Welcome, my middle school and high schoolers. That's 6th grade all the way up through 12th grade. It is time for your music class. Okay, let's get started right now, and it's time for the jingle. Let's, if you know it, sing along. Here we go. Time for school, time for music, time to learn together. We can do it. Learning is fun with Mr. C. And learning is fun. Once again, welcome my middle schoolers and high school, 6th grade all the way through 12th grade. It is time for your lesson. Okay, so there's a couple of things that you're going to need. First of all, the hymnal choice for today is called He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. Now, you guys may or may not know that. There's a very, very repetitive, very short little hymnal. Okay. Go into a Google search engine, open up a new page for the Google search engine and type in the words, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands, and type in the word lyrics, and you shall find those lyrics right away. Okay. So that you know that He's Got the Whole World in His Hands is a traditional folk spiritual. Okay. So it's definitely sacred. Spiritual meaning is sacred. It's a hymnal for to praise God with. Okay. But at the same time, it's traditional because it's been done many, many, many times. And the word folk, meaning that it has no author. It's a song that's been passed down from generation to generation with no known author whatsoever. So because of that, it is noted as a folk. It's as folk music. Okay, so again, remember that musical term. When it's a folk song, it means that there's no known author and it's been around a long time, passed down again from generation to generation without knowing who actually wrote it. Okay, the only thing we do know is that it was published back in 1929. It was first published in 1929, but this song is definitely much older than that. Okay, so we're going to first stretch, okay, and then we're going to go right into that song. The other thing I would like you guys to get ready, okay, is if you don't have it, okay, a blank sheet of paper with a good pencil and a straight edge or a ruler so that you can draw staff lines, okay, unless and my high school students know this. They've actually either, I've actually provided, with the ability to actually draw their lines on a blank sheet of paper, their staff lines, okay? Like I'm going to use the whiteboard for today to be able to do that. And either that or, definitely as Patreon members, I should say as the Academy members, you guys have on your Patreon account an actual PDF of blank music sheet paper so that you guys can print that out. Okay, you can definitely use that. So that's another way of doing that. Or unless you already have a manuscript book, spiral notebook, which has all the staff lines already provided. If you have that already, then definitely you can use that. I'll show you an example. Okay, I'm gonna get my example right now. Actually, I have a couple of examples. So here's just my spiral notebook one of my spiral notebooks that I like to use. You open up and it already has, take a look, it already has the staff lines provided for you. Okay, so if you have that already or are able to get that later on, then definitely that's a good idea. So you can use a pencil and you can do lots of writing. This is specifically for the middle schoolers because middle school we haven't been. For you middle schoolers, I've done a lot of classes where we haven't done much writing, and I want to get you guys into that a lot more, like the high schoolers have been doing. Okay, so you can get your own. You can either order through like places like Amazon or go to your local music store. They definitely have spiral notebooks. They don't all look like this, like the one I got. I actually got this one from Barnes and Noble. Okay, believe it or not. And actually lately I've been to a Barnes and Noble. And they actually stopped selling this at the local Barnes and Noble where I live. They stopped selling these, but for a good couple of years they used to have these on hand to sell. But now they don't anymore. They might still have it via online, so you might be able to order it online. Okay, ask your parents, of course, and see if they're able to do that. If you really desire a hardcover, this is more of a hardcover manuscript notebook. Okay. Again, with the lines already provided, the staff lines already provided for you, which we're definitely going to be getting into. But again, if you want to save some money, okay, this is what I did. Actually, no. What I did was I took a photocopy. I did a photocopy of one of the pages on my notebook. I did a photocopy, and then I even traced it. I even traced the lines to make them darker so that they can show out. And I have plenty of photocopies now of blank sheet paper. So that's another way to do it. Okay. But also, if you get one blank sheet of paper like this, if you have it on the blank side, okay, and you can get a straight edge or a ruler and draw your own lines with your pencil, okay, and definitely what I want to say, then definitely trace those lines with a dark pen, okay, and then still make photocopies that way, okay, using again a straight edge or a ruler and a pencil with a good eraser in case you make a mistake. Definitely want to have pencils on hand with your manuscript paper or notebook, okay, with a good eraser, so in case you make a mistake, again, you can just erase. All right, so that is definitely what you guys want to have, okay, especially for the next few weeks or so. We're gonna get into a lot more music theory, composition type of stuff, which I've been doing already with the high schoolers, okay. But now that they're joining us and everything, it's a good idea for you middle schoolers to really get into that as well, okay. What else can I say? But we'll be at the board very soon, so have that ready. Even now, you don't have to draw a whole bunch. You don't have to get a blank page and draw a whole bunch of them. You could really just draw just one set of staff lines. You just have to draw 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to just draw 5 lines going parallel to each other. Okay, just draw that one set, and that's all you'll need for today. But then later, before next week, you might want to have a bunch of them on a page, and then have a bunch of the staff lines on one page, and then have multiple copies for yourself. This way you can save a penny, you can save a buck or two. Instead of getting the manuscript notebook, then you might want to do that. But definitely, but if you want to make life easier on yourself, actually, especially if you're an Academy member, all you have to do is find the PDF of the blank manuscript paper. It's right there, and print out a copy, and make as many copies as you need. Instead of drawing your own, you can just print that out. I've definitely provided that for all of my Academy members. So, yep, it's all there. So, let's get to it. Everybody, let's do some stretches before we do our hymnal. So everybody sit up nice and straight, shoulders relaxed, back straight, and feet on the floor. Make sure they're flat on the floor, and reach up into the sky as high as you can. Going to limber up the body and definitely the voice, so that we can do our sing along to the hymnal. He's got the whole world in his hands. And everybody bring it down, and now roll the shoulders back. Okay, great. Now everybody roll them forward. All right, everybody, great job. Now everybody rotate the neck in a circle, very slow. Nice and easy. Okay. And now everybody rotate in the other direction. Good job, everybody. Rotate that neck. All right, now everybody look all the way up. Look all the way down. Look all the way to your right. Look all the way to your left. And now shrug and hold those shoulders. Shrug and hold. And let them drop. Once again, shrug and hold those shoulders. Shrug and hold. And let it drop. Great job, everybody. Now, put your hands in front of you like this and start opening and closing your hands. Get the blood pumping. Okay. A little mobility. Great. Now everybody squeeze and hold. Keep squeezing and holding. Keep on going. Squeeze and hold. And shake it out. And let's do something that I never normally do. Let's take our hands and massage our cheek muscles. Yeah, massage our cheek muscles. This is very helpful vocally, because we use these cheek muscles for our diction, So when we start singing, it's good to be nice and loose and, warmed up right over here, okay? And everybody rub in the other direction, circular motions as I'm doing. Okay, everybody open your mouth real quick, open real wide. I know that's very silly, but again, we move our mouth. When we're singing, we're moving our cheek muscles and moving that jaw. So getting it all limber. Okay. All right, everybody, it's time to go. So if you have those lyrics handy, hopefully you do. Okay. In case you don't know, take a look at those lyrics. How repetitive and simple they are. Okay. But in simplicity, there is a genius, if you will, okay? And it's all God doing it, really. And even in the words itself, he's got the whole world in his hands. That's just the first verse, okay? The first verse is he's got the whole world in his hands, sung four times. And that's fantastic to know, because there's a genius in that. Even though it's so repetitive and seems so simple, there's a genius in that, because it's wisdom. It's knowing that God does actually have everything in control. The whole world is in his hands. It's not in ours. Okay, it's in his hands. And to say it constantly, okay, definitely reminds me of the Bible scripture in Revelation where you have the four beasts in heaven, okay, as it's being revealed to John from on the island of Patmos. And it's being revealed to him, and that's how the scripture came out, right? The four beasts are singing, are praising God and singing nothing but "Holy, holy is the Lord" over and over again, all the day long, as it says. Okay, holy, holy is the Lord, and that why would God have a picture of that? Because there's nothing more. There's nothing more important. We can be as profound as we'd like, prolific and profound as we would like, and sound really intelligent and always coming up with something different. But, it all boils down to the simplicity of life and what's simple for us, and God knows this in his infinite wisdom. What's simple for us is that he is holy, and he holy, holy is who he is. He is purity. He is the best. Okay. And he's got the whole world in his hands. So yeah. There is nothing better and more important than that. Knowing that is part of the greatest commandment, which he says in the scriptures also, love him first. Okay. So have those lyrics handy. Let's sing it together, everybody. Here we go. He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the whole world 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 in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the whole world 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 in his hands. And that was He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. Give yourselves a nice round of applause if you were able to get to sing through that. If you were able to catch up. If you had a little bit of difficulty, as I always say, my friends, just go right back to the video. The video is always there, provided for you, especially as long as you're an Academy member. All you have to do is go right back to the video and replay it. Have those lyrics handy and practice, okay? But, as repetitive as it is, you pick it up very, very quickly. That's the wonderful thing. And just a little bit about that second verse, why it's changed to he's got the wind and the rain in his hands as it's repeated 3 times, okay? When we think of wind and the rain, we just think of just a little bit of chaos that naturally comes in this world, right? Okay, wind and rain. Things happen in wind and rain. Things are blown away and wet, and streets. Especially if there's a lot of rain, streets are flooded. Things like that. So we're talking about a little. God is painting a chaotic picture for us. Okay, so and then saying the very statement. He's got the wind and the rain. The reason we have wind and the rain is the reason we have anything that chaotic that happens. It's because of him. That's a really great reminder in that song. He's got it in his hands. So despite the issues that come, don't worry. He's got it under control, especially for his people. That's what that's saying. Okay, so and look, from time to time, I try not to be over repetitive or over explanatory when it comes to songs. But remember something. Content in the songs are very important. If you wish to perform it. If you guys wish to perform a particular song and do your best performance, it's not in the technicalities, notes, making sure your notes are right, your voice is good, your playing is good, all of those things, we work on them, right? But those things come secondary. Those things come after, really. We'll start with that, okay, as a basis, but that the thing that we really want to remember is content. What is the song about? That's what's important. Remember that. When we have a good understanding of what the song is about, we can perform it a lot, to the best. We can perform it the best that way. Okay, the best performances are actually come from us understanding what the song is about. Okay, and that goes hand in hand with all of those technicalities, good notes, good playing, good voice, everything primed and ready, and technique and all of that stuff. Okay, without knowing what it's about, all of that technique and technicalities mean absolutely nothing. Okay, so remember that. Keep that in mind, everybody. That's why I talk about. That's exactly why I talk about what the song is about. It's very important that we as performers, we as musicians, have a good understanding of that primarily. Okay, but now let's talk about our lesson for today. It's all about intervals. Everybody say that, intervals. Okay, so I'm gonna reposition the camera. I'm gonna raise the camera a little bit, actually. Okay, I might need to bring it closer too. Okay, and just kind of reposition stuff. And okay, we're gonna do that because I'm gonna be standing. Forgive the close-up on my head. Okay. All right. But I would like you to take your blank piece of paper if you have it, or again, if you're able to print that while we were here, and you were able to print that PDF, great. If you have a manuscript notebook, great. Okay. If you're able to print that, that's good. Okay. But if you just have nothing but a blank sheet of paper or blank white piece of paper, make sure you draw a set of staff lines. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay. All right, guys. So here we are at the whiteboard. Okay. In your case, you got your pencil. Make sure you have your pencil handy. Now I'm just going to check. I'm going to test the marker on this. I've been hoping I could, because this is my favorite, really. No, it gets so light. Starts off dark and it gets so light. I think it's pretty much had it. So I'm going to use the other one, which I'm not too crazy about because of the point, but it's something. Okay, so we're drawing a set of staff lines from left to right going across. You could do it free-handed. It's always better to do it with a straight edge or a ruler, okay? But draw on your sheet of paper. If you're drawing your set of staff lines, draw it from left to right or just a straight line. And we're going to do 4 more lines that way. It's 5 lines altogether for the staff, okay? So everybody do that. Just straight across your page, starting at the top or the middle, however you want it, okay? But give me 5 straight lines across, just like I'm doing, Okay, so just 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is what is consistent of a musical staff, okay? We're going to use our treble clef today, just to start off with, okay? How do we draw a treble clef, okay? How do you write a treble clef, I should say? One straight line down on the left side of your staff, one straight line down above the top line and above and past the bottom line. Then you're going to come up to the top of your line, and you're going to go towards your right, I mean, on an angle, up to about the second to top line, okay? Then you're going to go towards your right, and come all the way down and around the second to bottom line, and do like a little hook right around that, okay? And that is your treble clef, okay? So you want to do that, okay? Get that ready. Now, if you have a manuscript book or the manuscript paper that you were able to download, you won't have this all readily. So you actually want to draw this right now, okay? One straight line down, then from the top to the right, angled off, and then up to the second to the top line, and then angle over to the left again, and and round out that line all the way to the bottom and around and hook around the second to bottom line right there, okay? So that is that. Now, some time ago, you might want to review the video. Some time ago, we've gone over how to read the notes on a treble clef staff, as well as a bass clef staff, by the way, okay? And FYI, a bass clef looks like this, okay? Just a hook, okay, with 2 dots like that. That's our bass clef, which are the lower range of notes. This is the higher range of notes, okay? But we're not going to use any bass clef today. We'll do that next time, definitely, okay? But today is all about, what did I say? It's all about intervals, okay? All right. So it's all about intervals, intervals, okay? So it's all about intervals. Now, what are intervals? It's just basically a spacing from one note to the other, okay? From a certain distance, okay? What I'm going to write over here right now is the C scale. I think I'll use a different color for that. I'm going to write the C scale. Of course, you're just using your pencil, right? But I'm going to write the C scale going up, just ascending, okay? So here's my C scale. We start with the ledger line, okay? I'm going to use whole notes for this, okay? But rhythm is inconsequential when it comes to it. We're not looking at rhythm. We're just looking at the letter name notes themselves, okay? So we have middle C, we have D over here, and please copy this down, of course. All right, so we have D right here, okay, in the space. We have our E on the bottom line. We have our F in the space there, bottom space there. We have our G. We have our A note in that space. Next line, B, and then I, C, okay? So this is the C scale, okay? Now, there are all natural notes. They're all natural notes, okay, in the C scale. So we don't have to worry about any accidentals like sharps or flats or anything, at least not yet. Okay? But what we're doing here, okay, is just, again, I'm providing the C scale to go up in steps, all right? From middle C to the high C. So actually, I'll name the letter names here: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and I, C. Okay? All right. So now, this is what I'd like you guys to pay attention to, okay? So we're talking about a distance. We're talking about a distance of notes from one note to the other, okay? I'm going to give you an example right now, okay, from the C, okay? And I want you guys to write this down, okay? Write everything down that we're doing, okay, so that you understand, okay? Again, intervals are a distance, okay? Talking about a distance. You can write the definition: distance between 2 notes. Okay? So please get that down. There are intervals or a distance between 2 notes. Okay? Let's start with middle C over here. Okay? I am going to, okay, you see it in steps C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to write another note. I'm going to write the other note. I don't think I want to use. Actually, yes, I'm going to do. Okay, sorry, I'm just going all over my head. So visually, you guys can see. You guys can see it the best. Okay, so I'm drawing another measure. Actually, okay, I'm drawing another measure, and what I want you to see is I'm going to take middle C as the starting point. Now, on your set of staff lines, okay, draw separate measures all along your page, okay? So basically if you have your own staff paper, right? This is one part. This scale, if you write it, it's not going to take up the whole first line, okay? And even if it kind of does, you always have multiple staff lines. You have multiple staff lines that you can use, okay? So I want you to draw separate measures every time to get all the different intervals that we're going to go over, okay? So for instance, okay, let's start with middle C. We're going to always have, right now, we're going to have middle C as an example, as a starting point, okay? So there's middle C again, okay? So middle C has, okay, middle C right here as a starting point. It's in the ledger line below the staff, okay? If I were to draw from C to D, okay, if I were to draw another note, C to D, and I had it, say, right over here, okay? So that's what they look like, kind of piled up on top of each other, okay? So we have C and we have D right there, okay? So we got C and D. From the distance between C and D, okay, is known as a major second, okay? So everybody, I want everybody to write, I'm going to use a different marker for this. I want everybody to write underneath C and D, you're going to write an M, a capital M, and a 2, okay? So an uppercase M and a 2 to symbolize major second, okay? Why a major second? Because you're going up a second step from C to D. From C to D, you're going up a step, okay? So it's known as a major second. If we were to listen to what a major second sounds like on the piano, for example, okay, this actually would be C, okay? And actually, next time, I'm going to actually also focus. And now, you know what? I'm going to do you one even better. I'm going to keep switching the camera over to the piano so that you can see what's going on piano-wise. You need another extra visual to be able to see that, okay? So here it comes. I'm going to bring the camera over to the piano. Okay. Okay, so there it goes. This is middle C right now. Okay, there's middle C. And then this would be our D right next door. Okay, there's our D. Okay, everybody see that? So our C, from C to D, okay, from C to D is just a second step. 1, 2. You see that? So it's a major, and it's known as a major second. Reason it's a major second between here and here is because note the black key between the two, okay? Note the black key right between the two, okay? That is telling us that we are in the distance of a major second, okay? If we were going from here to here, however, it would be known as a minor second, which is a half a step, okay? From C to D flat, technically, just FYI, D flat is a half of a step. So it's a minor second. But from C to D, skipping over this particular note, we're going a whole step, an entire whole step. So from C to D, that is a major second. Okay, that's why we note that as a major second. Everybody got that? Give me a thumbs up if you guys got that. Okay, great. Now I'm going to bring it right back to our whiteboard again. Boom. Here we are. Okay. So that's what we have right over here when it comes to our major second from C to D. Okay, so this is one measure. Okay, and I'm going to constantly erase this. I'm going to constantly erase this and then put another interval. Okay, so just so you know, you don't have to. Of course, you don't have to erase it. You have a whole staff, a whole sheet with staff lines. Okay, so you just create more measures as you go along, writing all of these down. Okay, everybody got that? All right, so now I'm going to hope you got it right there. Make sure again you're writing this. If you miss anything during our lesson, by the way, just replay the video, and give yourself time, give yourself more opportunity to copy everything that I'm doing. Okay, so again, from C to D is a major second. Okay, but I'm going to erase that. I'm erasing the D. We're staying with middle C. Okay, now if we go off the scale over here, we're going to skip over D and we're going to go from C to E. From C to E. So if we go from C to E, I'm going to draw my E note right there. Okay, there's our E on the bottom line, just like here. It's the same spot from C to E. Okay, so this is our E. All right, that's our E note. Now from C to E, if we count the steps, okay, we said from C to D is a second, a major second, 1, 2, right? But if we go over to E, 1, 2, 3, okay, 1, 2, 3, what would that make it? Excuse me, what would that make it? That would make it a major third, everybody. That's a major third. So watch this. I'm going to write uppercase M and 3. A major third. So skipping over the D from middle C to the E, that is known as a major third. This is an interval of a major third, a distance between middle C and E. It's a major third because it's 1, 2, 3 steps up. Okay, so what does that look and sound like? Okay, here we go. Major third. Watch this from middle C. Okay, from middle C to our E. Everybody, take a look at that. Okay, so let me get my marker. Here's our E, and just to save some time, F, G, A, B, and I, C. Okay, so from there, let's see. Let me make a good visual. Okay, so from middle C, skipping over the D, we got 1, 2, and then 3 whole steps. Why 3 whole steps? Because we have some notes in between. Like again, from between C and D, we have this D flat over here. So we are skipping over this and doing an entire step. Also from D to E, another entire step, skipping over this half a step of a note. Okay, we're going right to E there. Okay, so now from C, 2 whole steps. I should say whole steps. 1. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so from C to E is known as a major third. Okay, major third because of the 2 half steps in between that we have to go over. Okay, so C, E. Okay, remember a major second sounds like this. C, D. Almost like, by the way, if we think of it as a solfege, as our solfege scale, right? We think of it and we sing it. It's do, re, do to re, or C to D is a major second, but C, E is really like do, re, mi, mi. So do, mi would be a major third, or C to E, major third, okay? So that's how it kind of coincides. See, I'll use all kinds of different things that we've actually learned in the past, especially when it comes to our solfege. Solfege are a really good way of understanding our intervals as well, okay? But this time now you're just kind of getting it on paper, okay? I should say you're learning via document, via sheet music, okay? So that is our C, and from C to E is a distance of a major third, M3, okay? Make sure you label every measure that you create from C to D, M2, and then from C to E, M3, okay? Make sure you write that down, okay, so you know the difference. Again, standing for major third, okay? Now, I'm going to do one more, okay, because we basically have our time. Our time is basically up. I would like to do one more, but then next week, I would definitely like to continue on from there to kind of finish the scale, okay? Definitely finish the scale of learning the distances between your middle C and then all the way up to high C, okay? We'll definitely get to that, but I want to do one more because we're a little past our time. So you don't have to erase this. Hopefully you've jotted this down. Create another measure, of course. Create another measure so that you'll have it. Okay, and I'll just redo this one. Okay, now we're no longer looking at a major third, but now we're going past it from C, from middle C, we went to E. Now we need to go to what? F. C, D, E, F. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so from C to F, okay, that is our F. From C to F, just like I already counted, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, from C to F. Now this is different. You're going to write underneath it. I'm going to use my red marker so y'all can see it. You're going to write underneath it an uppercase P and a 4. Okay? The P stands for perfect. It is noted in music as a perfect fourth. Everybody say that, perfect fourth. And M stands for major, especially in uppercase. An uppercase M stands for major. A P, uppercase P, stands for perfect, okay? A perfect fourth. From C to F is a perfect fourth, okay? Everybody remember that, perfect fourth. So let's see what that looks like on the piano. And sound, what it sounds like as well. Sound is very, very important, even as well as we're learning to visualize it, to see it. We got to be able to hear it as well, connecting both together. So here's our middle C again. We're skipping over D, we're skipping over E. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going right to F, okay? So from C to F, okay? That's what it sounds like from your do to fa, by the way. Do, fa. That is from C, F. That is your perfect fourth, okay? Notice we're skipping over the 1/2 step, the 2/2 step, okay? And from E to F, by the way, is a okay, in piano wise, because there's no black key in between the E and the F, okay? This is also a 1/2 of a step, okay? So really, think about it, guys. Think about it. Remember when I said that from C to D flat is a minor second, okay? Minor second. Also from D to E flat would be a minor second because it's a 1/2 of a step, 1/2 a step. So if we were going from E to F with nothing in between, this is again another 1/2 step, which is again a minor second, okay? Especially the way it sounds, okay? If you hear the middle C to D flat, and then D to E flat, okay? It has that minor second sound, doesn't it? It's just that minor second. But if we were just doing a major second, D, do, re, as opposed to do, C, D, or from D to E is another major second, by the way. D, E, as opposed to D, okay? But that's how it sounds. But again, a perfect fourth, C, F, do, fa. If we were to connect a perfect fourth to a song, okay, to a song, think of the wedding march. C, F, 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 da, 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 da. Okay, but the wedding march, C, F, 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 do, fa, C, F, perfect fourth, okay? So that's how you want to connect it sound-wise. So if you ever hear if you ever hear those two notes, da, da, think wedding march, da, 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 da. As soon as you think about that, that's what's going to solidify for you a perfect fourth, okay? Actually, do, mi, fa, fa, fa. And then you have do. So your do, mi is a major third. C, major third. Da, da. Actually, it sounds more like a doorbell. Okay, think doorbell when it comes to a major third. So if nobody told you what this was, nobody told you what interval it is, and you had to guess, think of mi back to do. It sounds kind of like a doorbell. Okay? But then from C to D, do, re, think do, re. Do, re, do. Okay? C, D, major second. Okay? So that's how you distinguish sound-wise. Okay? Because guess what, everybody? We're learning to see and hear what they sound like. But along with seeing and hearing what they sound like, eventually, I'm going to do more exercises where you're hearing the intervals and guessing what they are, okay? Trying to guess. Because this now, along with writing everything down, is going to connect with you visually as well as sound-wise, how to train your ear to hear those intervals. What's the purpose of all of this? Why do I do this? Or why are we doing this? Because, guys, if you ever want to write a song, okay, intervals are a major part of songwriting. You always have lots of skips, steps and skips going on whenever you're writing a melody. You know, it's all throughout music, okay? So learning these intervals right now is going to help very much in your songwriting, in your composition, okay? And being able to hear it in your head, you know, that all plays a part in being able to songwrite and it's all part of music, okay? All the songs, all the best songs, you know, use lots of intervals, okay? So it's all throughout. Okay, guys, so that's it for now. We went from C to F so far, C to D, C to E, and C to F. A major second, a major third, from C to E, a major third, and from C to F, a perfect fourth, okay? That's the distance we've learned about. Perfect fourth, major second, major third, and a perfect fourth, all right? All right, guys, so we'll continue on with next week with learning the rest of the intervals using the scale to kind of help us along. Make sure, again, in order to be prepared for the next class, have manuscript paper ready, okay? Either, you know, definitely the simplest way, I would say the simplest way, since you're Academy members, simplest way is to go into your account and find the PDF of the sheet, of the manuscript sheet that you can easily print out. And there you have it. Make as many copies as you need, okay? Otherwise, if you rather have a notebook, manuscript notebook, you're gonna have to go outside of this to purchase your own manuscript notebook like the one I showed you, okay? Or if you really want to get craftsy, okay, then get a blank sheet of paper, blank white sheet of paper, and draw lines with a straight edge or a ruler, and make a bunch of copies from there. All right. Always have your pencils ready. Next week we will continue this. And guys, give yourselves a nice round of applause. Okay. And great job, and thank you for all of your support of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. All my students all of my students in this country as well as around the world. Thank you very much for all of your help and support with this. Let's keep making music, guys. And as always, I wish you happy practicing. Everybody take care. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.